Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Two Broke Girls. It's Amanda here,
And it's Jay.
and I hope you guys had a great new year, great start, and are ready to jump right back into the game. We're going to be talking about the importance of respect. Um, like, what is self respect to you, Jayana?
For me, self respect is my personal boundaries. Um, Understanding who I am and accepting who I am as a person, like without all like the outside factors that make up who I want to be and the standard I have for myself, but accepting who I am at this moment. I believe that's a part of self respect. Um, and yeah, those two big things right now. What would you say your definition of self respect is?
I think it's exactly like how you worded it and explained it. Mainly for me, I believe it's having boundaries. You give respect to get respect, and I feel like once people pat are like
Crossing?
cross those boundaries of that, then that means I lose respect for you. Like I like to hold people to a certain standard, and I feel like they have to be able to, for me personally, give me that same respect that I'm giving back to them. So I would want to like have boundaries for myself and for that person and to whoever I am talking to.
So yeah, basically what I feel, you set those boundaries up for yourself, and within yourself, like your own limits. So, like she said, people cross. If you explain those boundaries and people cross them, then I feel if I let someone cross my boundaries, I'm disrespecting myself, because it's like, why did I let you get to me or persuade me to do anything that I know I wasn't comfortable with? And if you let people cross boundaries, cross your boundaries too many times, they become comfortable. And no matter how comfortable you are with people, you always need to have like a limit, because some people just get way too comfortable, and some people just think they could say whatever, do whatever, and that's not the way it is, because at the end of the day, like, you control your own life, and there's no one else who really needs to be like influencing your decisions. Yes, you have your friends and family who gonna tell you, they're gonna tell you what they want to say, they're gonna talk, if you allow them to be there for you, and they know a lot enough about you, they're going to tell you how they feel about whatever situation. So at the end of the day, it's just like, it's up to you to create those limits to where, okay, don't pass this. Like, you said what you said, then that's it. It's no more you need to say. And then, like I said earlier, no one should dictate your choices and what you want to do. So that's why I think having boundaries up for yourself and for others is very important.
I can definitely agree with that statement because I feel like when it comes to self respect, a lot of people, um, especially with people that friend groups or like people around them, like family members and whatnot, some people get the notion of wanting to like them or like be more in their circle, and I feel like that's when sometimes self respect goes out the window. But other than that, or like your boundaries start to wander off and be like, oh, I could do, okay, I can, like comply. Is that the word? Comply to what that person wants to do, or that family member, or friend, or boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it may be, want to do instead of how
You start
you
to
feel.
compromise yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. For me personally, no shade, but a lot of people around me are opinionated. A lot of us, even I'm very opinionated. And my friend groups, my family, like, we tell each other how it is. And sometimes it gets to me, because it's just like, okay, like, sometimes I feel like, why do you feel so comfortable sometimes in my head? So I am working to, it's a personal journey for me to, I'm slowly doing it, but to not talk so much and to just let things play out and, you know, find out what works for me. But I'm so used to like using my friends as outlets and they know enough about me by now. So it's just like I'm not trying to like create a wall up against them, but like I said, boundaries come into play here, and I am still figuring out those boundaries, and I have to figure out what I will allow you to say about whatever or me, and what I don't want you to say about whatever or me, and that's for them to take in and for them to figure out what they want to do with that. I said what I had to say, and I wouldn't have to explain it anymore after that. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to my whole life, elaborating off of what you said about having boundaries with like friends and friend group and stuff like that, for me, like growing up and even now, it's hard for me to like keep boundaries with certain people because I wouldn't want to feel like standoffish or what's the word, feel like I don't care about their opinions or whatnot, because sometimes I would just like to talk with them without them having an opinion on whatever I'm telling them about. So it's kind of hard to like put up boundaries with certain people for me, but back then it was hard for me to set up boundaries because I don't want them to know everything. Like I would talk and talk and talk, but then sometimes I would not talk, and then I don't know, I would get very, what's the word, inward, how I don't know how to explain it.
Flustered? What you talking?
Like I would like my feelings would, like about a situation, or like if I
You
was
internalize
uncomfortable,
it?
yeah, I internalize a lot of things and I like to suppress them and like make it seem like it really wasn't that big of a deal when it was making me feel some type of way, and I felt like I couldn't really talk to that person because I feel like they wouldn't understand what I was going through or what I was feeling, or I would feel like they wouldn't even care that much to try to understand me or put themselves in my shoes, if that makes sense. And so like that's when I felt like I just allowed a lot of people to just say and do whatever they wanted to do, and I would just internalize it and not really say what I really wanted to say because I cared about their feelings too much to the point where I didn't really care about mine, if that makes sense.
It does. And I feel like that's where like communication comes in. Like you said, sometimes you want to just talk to people and you don't want them to judge you. And I think that should be like the starter of the conversation. Like I'm here to just let my feelings out. Like if you're going to listen, if you're going to be that ear for me, then do that. If not, if you can't take what I'm about to tell you, if you have no room to just be here, then, just like a disclaimer, I guess, because some people, if you don't do that, then they're going to feel like they have to say something afterwards. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Why do you, and also, I think there's healthy boundaries and then there's like bad boundaries. Like, so when you're just explaining how you don't feel like you have boundaries sometimes with other people, I feel like that's like, okay, question. Are you sure about your boundaries as an individual?
Yes, like I know what I want for myself and I know what.
Are they negotiable?
Yes. They're not hard to like understand or.
No. Are they with the right person, are your boundaries going, or do your boundaries stay like up with everyone? Like no questions asked, this is what I'm giving you, take it or leave it.
I feel like sometimes yes and then sometimes no, because then like I overthink a lot of situations about how I feel and if I actually really feel this way or if I'm just making it more than what it seems like, if I'm being dramatic. And so like sometimes my boundaries are like they're there, but it's kind of like they've kind of fallen. If
So
that makes
they
sense.
are negotiable.
They are negotiable.
Okay, so Okay, I'm just trying to picture in my head because I don't really know how to explain this way. That's why I said. So like, you have your personal things that only you know, and whoever, well, mainly only you know, and then you have things that you share with people. And I feel like your boundaries are your personal. That's your personal wall. And yes, you do like you don't have to explain your boundaries to anyone. Like you don't have to, yeah, you don't have to explain them to anyone. But like when something, an issue comes across and you know that's crossing your boundaries, then that's when you should say something. But like, I don't know how to explain it. Dang. So your boundaries are your personal, that's your personal wall. And then you allow people to come. I don't know how to explain. Are you, I'm basically saying boundaries shouldn't be negotiable. They shouldn't fall and come back up. Like you should have like
Okay.
a set, like set rules for yourself or set things that no one can come around and say and make you think you need to switch it for them.
Okay.
I tried to explain this some other way and that
Okay,
wasn't
I
working
think I
out.
understand. I
Yeah.
think I understand. I feel like when around the group of people that we are around, like
We're
together,
open with each other.
me and
We're
you,
very open.
me and you.
I think a lot of people, even people who aren't as close to us, they still feel like they could say certain things. And I just feel like, what if I was anyone else, you wouldn't have said that to me. So I feel like I don't know how, but I feel like the people around me, somehow I invite them to be like so open. And like we,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
And it's just like I'm trying to learn how to cut that down because I be getting, it agitates me. I'm I'm like, you don't even know me that much to even like be so opinionated about what I have going on. And so it's just like, you know what I was telling you about Cairo, how everybody has something to say about him? Cairo's our dog. And
Yeah.
that type of stuff just like triggered me. So like I don't know how or what I must have a sign on my head saying tell me everything you think about me because people just talk too much.
I feel like in a sense, I feel like they I don't know how I feel like people are going to say what they want to say regardless of how they think that person is going to feel. Especially about Cairo, how everyone has an opinion about him. I feel like they know our situation. We're college students. We barely have time. They know our majors. They know what we do. We work and stuff like that. And I feel like they feel obligated to say, "Oh, he's too much for you guys. You guys don't have this, that, and the third, and where you guys find the time to do this and that, and blah blah blah. What else?" And I really feel like they don't really care about how it makes us feel as individuals. Even though I personally, I don't care
I don't
because
really be caring
it's not your
about what
dog,
they're saying.
but
Yeah.
it's about their comfortability with us.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it either, especially when it comes to like other things, sexual things that people be talking about with us. Like they just felt like it was, I don't know, important to just say out. Maybe it's just their character. I couldn't tell you. I'm trying to cut that down too, where I'd be like, I don't want to hear it. Like I don't.
Saying no.
Yes,
Yeah, because I'm a people pleaser. And
I
I
try
just be
not to
letting
be.
things slide. And it's just like, in a different world, Johnny, you would not let this slide. So it's just like
I'll be feeling
that.
like I'll be mean.
Yeah, I
Like
feel like I don't
I
want them to
care
think
about
I'm
other
mean.
people's
But like
more than I
nowadays,
care
I
about
don't
mine.
care what you think. I don't care if you think I'm mean. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way. You're not going to comment on things that has nothing to do with you. So it's just like, I feel like that's a big thing about a part of self respect as well, which all leads up back to boundaries. It's like, all right, you cool, we cool, but you gotta limit. You can't just say whatever to me. And nowadays, like where I'm at now, I don't care if that makes me look mean or you don't want to be around me. The right people, the real people will stay, and the people who gonna respect me, they're going to be there. If you're not about respect, like you said, respect is given to be received. So just like if we're not gonna respect each other, then so be it. I'm not gonna disrespect you. I'm just back up from you, but I'm not gonna go crazy trying to disrespect you either. So it's just that type of stuff. So yeah,
All right. How do you gain self respect?
I think, like I said earlier, accepting who you are at like your lowest, your highest, your neutral levels, like to really truly understand who you are and how you operate, I think you'll be able to understand how you can provide that to yourself. And I feel like you can't really, well, some people fake it till they make it, but you can't really give true respect, or you can't really identify your boundaries if you don't know yourself. And so it's just like, just accepting who I am in every aspect and what I like, what I don't like, what I will accept and what I won't accept. That's how I can develop my self respect.
Okay.
How can you?
How can I gain self respect? I feel like I gained self respect for myself when I was in certain situations that made me uncomfortable. And that's when I kind of sort of like put up a wall. My wall is like boundaries about what people can do, people can say. And it real all started in like high school for real, especially around COVID time when like everybody had shifted to being at home, and like I seen like a lot of people just fall off of me, and I was just like, wow, I never would have thought we were gonna be best friends forever, and that wasn't the case for me. And so I just started pulling up a wall where I just really was very cautious around the people that I let into my life, because I care a lot about people, and I care a lot about those people that were left behind, where I thought they were my true friend, but they really weren't, because they were so easy to just drop me. And so now, like in college now, as a college student, being around people and whatnot, I'm kind of very cautious about like what I put out there and who I let in. My self-respect has gotten up a
So through
lot.
your experiences,
Yeah,
which makes sense.
I gained a lot of respect for myself and what people can say and do.
I think the only way to really identify like who we are is to go through experiences, because if we went through nothing, we would know nothing. Like we wouldn't know how whatever made us feel. We wouldn't know like how, well, basically how it make us feel. So just like you definitely need those experiences to build your character. The experiences suck, but like when you look back, like after you get over everything and you see like it, like you made it through, like it didn't
Yeah.
catch you like down that bad, and then you look back and you're like, what was I missing out on? Like I feel like you can only grow from certain things, and hopefully no one goes through experiences and then they spiral down, but instead they recover and they see how it impacted them in a positive way, or how they can move in a positive way from that.
I hope so too. I feel like that's a experiences are a part of life, if I'm being honest, especially being in college now and meeting a lot of people and going through different situationships, um just doing a lot of things, just doing a lot. And so people with self-respect comes like confidence and
Mm-hmm.
um what's another word? I'm trying to think of it. But being confident in yourself and your abilities to do what you can do on the campus or with yourself, with friends, and making sure that, whatever situation it may be, um, you're able to overcome it at the end of the day. Because it's not the end of the world just because you experienced something that was so, you know, I guess heartbreaking or
Traumatic.
traumatic to you. Like, your life doesn't end there. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I always say.
There is. But having self respect leads to a lot more, like self love and all of that. And like she said, confidence. And you showing up and you seem confident, like you got your stuff together, even though you might be battling internally, but you know what you can take and you know what you can't take. So showing up your best self, at least portraying your best self, that's a plus. Especially if you know what you can handle. Okay, how do you feel about them? You know how your grandma, your elders, they disrespect you. They get slick at the mouth, and then you get slick at the mouth, and then they're like, "No, I'm your elder. Don't talk to me like that." How do you feel about it? Because I think it's controversial. Like, of course,
I,
you don't got to react the same way they're reacting to you, but at the same time, like you said, give respect to get respect. But I think people take the age gaps and they make it such a bigger thing. And it's just like, I don't think it's a big thing. I think get respect to give respect. Period.
for me, if that were to happen with either of my grandmas, um, I feel like I would take it in, and I wouldn't give them the same energy that they're giving me, because as a grandchild, I would know my place, and as a person, like, of course that would be them, like, disrespecting my boundaries that I have up for myself, and I would let them know, hey, I don't really feel like that was okay for you to say, or for you to be talking to me in that type of tone, because that was not what I was giving out to you.
But
Like,
some people think you saying that is disrespectful. So, like,
well,
it's really no win-win.
at that point, I would say you're taking it that way because that's how you feel, and I can't help how you feel about that. I'm telling you, though, that you are disrespecting me and my boundaries. So I'm putting up my boundaries. Like, I see what you're saying with that, but at the end of the day, like, I'm human and you're human too. And so we're going to talk to each other about how we feel in that moment. Like, your tone of voice is going to come out whether you like it or not, or whether you didn't mean to put it out that way. So it's kind of like, it's kind of hard, but at the end of the day, like, with the elders and, like, the age gap and, like, how they be talking sometimes, I be just trying to laugh it off, if I'm really being honest, because it's like they ain't got nothing else better to do with their life. I mean, they're old, they got grandkids, they're not really doing much. The body is bodying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, what else can they really talk about? That's what I really be thinking. Like, they just be making me laugh. But when it comes to a point where it's like, like, just blatant disrespect, like, just bad mouthing, that's when it, like, all jokes aside, like, it just stops. Like, okay, you've gone too far. Let's backtrack and figure out where we went left. If I'm being honest with that.
Okay.
But
So, yeah. For me, I don't know. It really depends on who around. But at the end of the day, give respect to get respect. As long as everybody's being respectful, there's no reason our tones are switching. But what about, how do you feel? Do you feel like I'm pretty sure you do, accept respect? Like, you receive it well?
yes. I don't want to
Do
say
you ever
depends.
get respect confused with someone flirting with you?
Oh, baby, no. I could definitely tell that. And I'm going to tell y'all about the situation. I was at the gym the other day. And I was in gym. I forgot what machine I was on, but I was just lifting. And some guy decided to walk over to me and was like, "Oh, you're lifting. I bet you can lift, higher than that." And I was just like, at first I was a little stuck because I was like, is he really talking to me right now? I was very much so in my own world, especially when I'm at the gym. Like, I don't really think about anybody else that's going on around me. Like, I just be in my zone, just trying to get my sets in. And he just kept on talking to me, and I realized I guess I was trying to backtrack in my head, like, why did he feel like it was important for him to, like, come over to me? And I think I looked at him, and he looked back at me like we just caught each other eye. You know how you look at people and y'all just make awkward eye contact, or, like, I guess he was looking at me from a distance because I never even seen him until he started walking up to me. But he was definitely flirting with me, and I was just like, yeah, no, I can't lift this. And then I guess he wanted me to start to have a conversation. And I was uncomfortable, but at the same time, like, I was just like, I didn't really want to make it, like, I started caring more about his feelings than I cared about mine in that sense. And I just really wanted to go away. So I said, yeah, my boyfriend's in the gym. You know, he over there. He lifting weights. And he still, even after I said that, like, he still felt the need to ask for my number. Even after I said, my man over there, you know, at that point, I was just like, wow, like, that is actually crazy. And I was like, I think my face really showed it all, that I was just done, because even after I told him about, you know, my non-existent man that was over there, he um still continued to try to get my number. And I was just like, yeah, the conversation is over, buddy. Like, I said that. And then he just walked away. He was like, okay, cool. But he still stayed in, like, the same vicinity as me. Like,
he was stalking you?
Because I went on the treadmill after. And then he came up to me again. So I guess I was just like, he was like, so I can't get your, like, I was literally just headphones in, zone out. Like, I was, and then I seen him, and he was just standing there waiting for me to, like, look at him.
That's weird. I probably would have left by then. That's weird.
I was just like,
people are weird. Ew.
Like, I was looking at that in that sense, and I was like, I felt like I did the right thing of, like, you know, not really trying to be too friendly. Like, I blatantly just said, no, you can't get my number. Like, no. The answer is no. I don't know. I've have interacted with people like that before, not at the gym, but, like, I hate when people take no as, like, a yes type of thing, and it makes it seem like more than what it is. I don't know if it's my face. I don't know if it's, like, how I talk, but, like, I would never get confused with, like, giving respect and then flirting. Those are two different things. Like, you can actually tell when someone is flirting with you, and you can tell when someone is not flirting with you. But I don't know. That was just my spiel, and I definitely had my walls up, my boundaries up, because I don't even know you. And you just really felt so comfortable with talking up to me, and I really feel like I need to have, like, that B face and just be mad everywhere I go. But it's just like, that's not my personality.
It
like,
was this girl on TikTok. She had the same thing you went through. Well, probably more extreme, but he kept talking to her, and I think her boyfriend was there. But, like, she was on TikTok live, so I felt like it was, like, a little bit, like, weird that she was on live with this. And, like, the way she was expressing herself through her face seemed like she could have been got up and walked away. She was showing that she didn't want to talk to him. But he kept talking to her, and he was like, I'm going to follow you outside. He kept following her around the gym. And I was like, girl.
At that point, I went up to the desk.
Call the police or something.
Like, hello?
And, like, I was like, she's playing right now. Like, the way her face was and all of that, I was like, she can't be serious. And that was, like, making me mad. I'm like, you could have there's people in the gym, I'm pretty sure, would have walked you to your car or something. And it's just like, you're literally allowing him to sit here and talk to you.
I feel like it's shock. Or, like, you know how people go through things, or, like, they be still in the moment, and, like, they really don't know how to, like, say it. Or I don't even know. But I have felt that way before, where I felt, like, stuck, and I just couldn't really say it. Not in a public setting, but somewhere private with someone, and I just felt like I couldn't really move or talk the way I really wanted to say, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's weird. I would have went up to Des if he would have continued following me.
I couldn't even finish watching it. I felt like she wanted the attention from TikTok and from she wanted TikTok's attention. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, no, honey.
And it's just like, girl, get off the phone. Go handle your business. But like I said, people are weird.
Yeah, I don't get that. Okay, what would you do in a situation if you have a friend and it was a guy and he disrespected your boundaries, but you guys were around, like, a group of people, like, you were
disrespecting my boundaries? How?
Like, he was just touching you, just started touching you, you know, being close to you, and, you know, being all up in your face, And then, in that situation, what would you do?
And we're in a group setting.
Yeah, like y'all are with friends and whatnot.
I would probably, after I tell him, if I tell him stop, I'm like, hey, not feeling this, go find somebody else to play with, then, and he keeps going, then it'll be a problem. But I would figure out what his intentions are. I like people to be straight up. Tell me what you want. And so I would be like, no, I don't. I would want to know his intentions, yes. But in the moment, it'd probably be weird, especially if like we're not flirting back and forth, like it's
Yeah, like it's
one sided,
yeah.
like it's weird. So I'll definitely tell him to chill out, and then I'll remove myself from him, and
So you
then
will get up.
yeah, I would get up and move somewhere else to not be by him if it's been awkward. And if he continues to do that or like make me feel uncomfortable, then I'll most likely
You will
probably
leave
say
from the
something to
situation?
someone else
Okay.
and be like, hey, get your dude, something like that. But if we're flirting, that's different.
Okay.
What about you?
I think I would
But no,
I
crossing my boundaries, we can flirt with you. We can flirt, but you're not at the point where you can, no.
like
So,
touching your thigh. That's what I'm talking about. Like y'all never flirted before. Like he was just a friend in the friend group. Everybody was all chilling, sitting down. Like
well, then yeah, it would be weird because I'm, you know, I'm very open with touching y'all sometimes. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I am, depending on my mood. And so it's just like sometimes I'm more affectionate with people, but like if that's not the vibe and you like we've never done that before, then yeah, I'll tell you you're doing too much. Like back up. That's how it'd be for me most likely.
and what if you had caught the attention of like the whole group during that whole interaction, and then he felt like you was doing too much?
I'll probably just look at him and ask him if he's okay with a smile on my face.
Wow.
I mean, everybody else seen it, and now you want to turn up, but why? That's weird. So
That's
it's just
weird.
like, are you okay? What about you?
I think I would most likely tell him to stop for one, and that you're making me feel uncomfortable too. And then if he continues, then I'll just be like, okay, now you are disrespecting me, and so now I'm going to get up and leave. Like I would move away from him. And then if he kept on coming, then I'll be like, okay, so first you don't listen. Well, you're touching me, and I told you not to touch me, and now you're not listening to me or listening to what I'm saying. So at that point, I'm gonna tell everybody, get your dude, get your friend, and if not, if I'm feeling that uncomfortable, then I'll just leave,
Mm-hmm.
like out of the whole situation. Cause I'm like, that's not cool.
Yeah, that's
It's
weird.
it's not cool at all, especially if in that situation we were friends and like you ain't never done that before. Now all of a sudden you want to come touch me, like it's
Why?
weird.
Why are you touching me, bro?
It's weird.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. But some advice that you can give to people who need or boundaries, some boundaries that they could put up to not make them feel like, you know, comply to other people or break down those boundaries for someone else.
Well,
What would you say?
I can't tell. I can't tell nobody what their boundaries are, but I could say you need your self respect and self discipline to keep your boundaries and make sure that they stay up no matter who is around. Who you let your guard down to should be completely up to you. It shouldn't be forced out of you, it shouldn't be persuaded out of you. So it's just like keep your guard up and protect yourself because you know what you can handle, like I said earlier. You know what you can't handle. So your boundaries are there for a reason, they're protecting you. So if there's anyone who is trying to get you to loosen up your boundaries, or you may not even have boundaries yet, and they're doing that in a negative way or a way that you know isn't beneficial to you, then you may need to remove yourself from that person. Um, That's definitely what I can say. And just respect in general. I guess this podcast went more about self respect more than just respect in general. But respect in general, it's a valuable thing and it could go a long way. And so it's just like with the, whether it's within yourself or you are giving it out, it will be respected by others, especially if they see that you do have your head on straight and you know what you want and you know how you want it. There's no way they should be stepping to you any other way that they know you wouldn't accept. So it's just like for the 1,000th time, give respect to get respect, and pay attention to yourself and pay attention to people around you and how they are giving that respect to you. That's what I can say. Keep your boundaries locked. Throw the key away. Only find the key. Only you know where the key at.
Yep. Yep. No, I was waiting for that. Waiting for that. But just like Gianna said, making sure that you're around people that's good for you, and you would know that once you get in those situations with those people and once you experience it. Don't let anyone around you other than yourself feel like you had to change yourself or do something or drink something, take something because they want to. That comes with having boundaries for yourself and not letting anyone else come between you and that boundary. I know it can be hard and it can be difficult to set up boundaries. Like people just be saying to like stand on business. Um so like I said, standing on business, but not not complying to anybody else or what they have to do. I know when it comes to like giving respect, it takes a lot, especially if you're in a situation where people are disrespecting you or not respecting your boundaries or what you stand for. But
You don't have to swoop that low.
yeah, you never have to stoop that low with anyone at all because you know your limits, you know what you can handle. So I would say, give yourself grace when people are disrespecting you or your self-respect is you feel like your self-respect is lowering because you are with that person. Take yourself out of that situation and what's that word? Recoup. Yeah, recoup with yourself and with God. If you believe in God, recoup with Him. Recoup with yourself and recoup with what you stand for. That's all that I can say because Gianna said it all. If I'm being honest, and yeah, respect is a beautiful thing. It can be challenging, but we all need it and we all have it, and it's great to have boundaries with yourself and with others. So I'm gonna say do the best that you can do with what you got.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that all being said, guys, thank you guys for tuning into this episode. We appreciate you guys so much. Please share this podcast, share and like it, comment. If you got any advice for us or anything for anyone else, feel free to share that. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Talk to you next week.
See y'all.